Hello, 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 hello. Out there in video land, my name is Paul K. Lemire. This is HABSOLUTELY coming to you live from downtown Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada, in the studios of 4680Q. I'm here with my co-host,
Jean-Louis Filion. Bonjour, mon ami.
I'm bonjour for sure. I'm bonjour this morning, believe me. And what is it, this afternoon? What are we, 5?
Quel temps fait-il?
It's midi.
C'est le déjeuner. Qu'est-ce qu'il y a à manger, mon ami?
Pizza. Always pizza.
Pizza.
That's all I eat. Pizza every day. Every day I have pizza. It's my health food. It's got everything. So, Johnny.
Oui.
We had another meatloaf week. For the last month, I've been talking about the Lucky 11. I don't know if you remember.
Meatloaf? I thought you said pizza.
No, the Lucky 11. Not 7-Eleven, the Lucky 11.
No, I thought you were eating pizza, not meatloaf.
Well, meatloaf is 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
Oh, that's right.
And we won 2 out of 3, and that ain't bad, baby. And more important, we finished the Lucky 11. We got through with a 7-4 record, exactly what I wanted and what we needed to have a shot at a wild card. And guess what?
I don't know.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Have arrived. That's you. We, HABS, we've arrived.
We're getting closer to our home.
We're getting closer to the heart.
Yes. Mais oui.
Yep, the men who hold high places must be the one to start. So Hughes and MSL, you started us off, and here we are, right? Exactly.
Le Sacré-Cœur.
Now we're rushing into a playoff spot. Did you get all that? See what I did there?
Yes, totally. Rushing into the playoffs.
So that's why the Lucky 11 was so important.
What is today? Today is the 8th.
What is it, the 9th?
Janvier?
It's the 8th, yeah.
The Janvier? Yeah. I think it's the anniversary, actually, of Neil's passing.
No way.
It's very close. If it's not today, it was yesterday, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll check and see. But, yeah.
Big loss for Rush fans.
In 2000, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Was that the first year of COVID, 2000?
2000, no, 2020.
Or 2020, yeah. Yeah, first year of COVID, yeah.
Yeah, 2000, so we're still trying to take down the Twin Towers.
Yeah, it was 2020.
Yeah, 2020. 2020 is when they really started shutting things down in January of 2020. And old Neil hit the road. And that was bad. I mean, we don't want to see that. I mean, Neil Young is good, but Peart was really good too. Best drummer in the world.
Yesterday.
Big Habs fans, these guys.
Yesterday. Oh, huge.
Huge Habs.
Huge. Steve Shutt.
So we made the Lucky 11. We made the wild card spot. And, this road trip that I always talk about, the last year I called them the Dirty Dozen, this year the Lucky 11. And we did. We had the Lucky 11. They weren't the Dirty Dozen, but that road trip always kills us. And this year, no way, baby. No way. We beat 4 Stanley Cup teams.
Not only that, we're playing great hockey.
We are. We
can't wait to watch the games because they're exciting. And we know every game that we play, we can win.
You know what? These guys, they're like mosquitoes. They're pesty. They don't give up. They don't let go. They'll just keep on plugging away at you until something happens. This team is persistent, man, and I love it. I love watching them play. They're never out of any game.
Yeah, and the team is playing games in different ways. I mean, some games they're initiating the goals. Other games we're playing from behind. But no matter what the situation is, at any given time, or you feel, and I'm sure that not only the fans, in the rink, but everybody watching at home, as well as the team itself, they have this confidence that they can win the game.
Yeah, and the team that I've really noticed with the team is that there's always that spark plug on the team. Like the one game, Caulfield scored, and once he scored, I said we can win this game.
Which game was that? Because CC scores every game now.
But see, the one where we were down 2-0 to who was it, Colorado or whoever. We'll talk about the games anyway. But the next goal, if it was the third goal, I'm sure the game was over. But no. Caulfield found a way to score, and he put it in the net, and now I'm going, we got a shot at winning this. And what happens? We win the game. And that's how I feel every game now. There's one person or somebody who steps up and gets that important goal, whether it's, like, well, the last game, I mean, we had 5 different people score goals, and every one of them was important.
Yeah, every goal's been important. What's exciting is the fact that we're playing great hockey, we're creating great scoring opportunities, and it's just a matter of which one is actually going to be, lead to fruition of putting the puck in the net.
Yeah, and lead to us winning the game, because that's what seems to happen. Like, it doesn't matter. We're down 2-1, 1-0, 3-1. It don't matter. There's always somebody who steps up and gets that goal that you say. And you know what? It makes the team believe it too, because you can see after they get a goal, and that last game was won because they were forechecking so hard at the end of the game. They drew a penalty from, who were we playing?
The last game we played against Vancouver.
Yeah, Vancouver, the knuckleheads. And those knuckleheads took a penalty at the end of the game, gave us the 4-on-3, and of course we went in and took care of business in overtime with Mon Capitan doing the honors. And this is what we're seeing. And we talked about this earlier in the year. Oh yeah, we got Patrick Laine. He's got 8 power play goals. So the formula is, let's get more power plays. And how do we do that, John?
We create offensive zone opportunities.
Exactly, and that's exactly what they did. They pushed hard at the end, and because Caulfield got that bonehead penalty, and
check.
Go. And check. So there you go. We'll talk more about that later. But before we do that, we got to get to
Habs trivia.
Okay, and I got a good one for you today.
Last week's was good,
Yeah, that was a fun one. This is going to be just as good because it's about goaltending again. I don't know why.
It's all about goaltending.
With Dobish and Sammy, I mean, I think goaltending right now is so important to the Habs, and although MSL didn't put in the people we thought he was gonna, and Friday night we got another one that people are going, who's he gonna play? And I had it right because I know MSL. I see the way he operates his MO, and I knew Monty was playing that game even after Dobish had such a great game. But it doesn't matter. During the Lucky 11 run, we have seen 2 goalies, Sammy Montembeault and Jakub Dobish, turn in some beautiful performances to get us into a wild card position. But there are 2 goalies that share the Habs franchise record for having the most saves in a single game. And that number is 53.
53, yeah. That's your football sweater. Your football jersey number.
Yeah, sweater. Because there's a big controversy about that, too. Who were those 2 goalies? Note, they were at different times in different eras. Just so that you know.
I think I know one of them right off the top.
Okay, so I'll give you 4 pairs of goalies. You tell me which 2 had 53 saves in a single game.
Okay.
The most ever. Number 1, Ken Dryden and Steve Penny.
Steve Penny's in my head right now.
Number 2, Michel Bunny Larac and Jeff Hackett. Number 3, Brian Hayward and Andre Red Light Rasico.
Red Light Rasico. What a name, man.
I used to call Price that.
What a name.
And 4, Wayne Thomas and Carey Price. Speaking of the devil.
Wayne Thomas. We spoke about him last week.
Yeah, we talked about him last week. As soon as
you brought that up today,
yeah,
Steve Penny went right into my head.
Steve Penny.
And for some reason, I think one of the very first games he played with the Habs, he set the record of having he had a game where he had just an amazing amount of saves. So I'm going to have to say Steve Penny, and I think his pairing was with Ken Dryden. So that's my choice.
Okay, so out there in Videoland, here, Vince Hudo, you love to guess at these. So 2 goalies share the Habs franchise record for having the most saves in a single game at 53.
And 53 isn't a huge number when you think about it, compared to some games we've seen other goalies face.
What's his name? Sammy faced 48 this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Against Toronto, the very first game, and we shut Toronto out 1-0.
And that was a shutout.
It was a
48,
shutout.
48 shots, 48 saves.
And that's it. So I'm going to
Say
give
bum.
you, I'll give you the four pairings again, and then you take a guess and we'll give you the answer. Number one was Ken Dryden and Steve Penny. But they didn't have to play together on the same team. These are in different eras. 2, Michelle Bunny Larocque and Jeff Hackett. 3, Brian Hayward and Andre Red Light Rasico.
I really loved Jeff Hackett too as a goaltender.
I like Jeff Hackett.
I really did.
I used to call him Buddy.
He was top notch.
Buddy Hackett.
Top notch.
And number 4, the fourth two were Wayne Thomas and Carey Price. So we'll give you a few seconds here. And
Hackett played a solid role for the Habs.
He did. I love Jeff Hackett.
Much like the goaltender that we traded last year, Evans.
Evans.
Who was the goalie we traded last year?
Jake Allen.
Allen.
Yeah, Jake Allen.
Much like Allen.
Was it Jake Allen? Yeah, Jake Allen.
Allen and who was it? Hackett?
Allen and Hackett.
Very, very similar goaltending.
Okay. So the correct answer is actually number 4. Wayne Thomas and Carey Price.
Wow, that's amazing. So tell us the two games.
Okay. Well, fan favorite and most likely future Hall of Famer Carey Price and Wayne Thomas are the two. Wayne Thomas had 53 saves on March 10th, 1974, when the Habs beat Pittsburgh 5-4 in Pittsburgh. So he really had 53 shots on net saves, but he let in 4 goals, but he did win the game. Wayne Thomas's rights were originally held by the Leafs, but they traded him to the Kings, Los Angeles Kings, who in turn traded him to the Montreal Canadiens in 1970. He won the Calder Cup with the Nova Scotia Voyageurs in 72, and as we spoke of last week, because you have a very good memory, John, was one of the 4 Canadian goalies that posted a shutout in his NHL debut with the Habs. Wayne was the number 3 goalie with the Habs, sitting in line behind a guy named Ken Dryden and a guy named Michel Plasse. But Dryden took the 1973-74 season off to study law, complete his bar
in Toronto.
Yeah. And Thomas got his chance to play. In the game in question, Guy Lafleur, fan favorite, was also one of the players in that game, and he got a few assists. Murray Wilson had a pair of goals. Jacques Lemaire added the 5th one, with Pete Mahovlich getting the other 2.
Nice.
So what a line. Murray Wilson, Pete Mahovlich, and Guy Lafleur.
Love Peter Mahovlich.
I love those days in that team, man. They were the days. So now.
So Kenny Dryden, he was playing hockey during that year, though.
No. He might have been playing for Toronto College.
He was playing in the beer league.
Yeah, in the beer league. Yeah,
he was playing forward in the beer league.
Yeah,
and I'll take a guess.
Wouldn't they let him play? They wouldn't let him play goalie.
He didn't want to play. No, that's not fair. That's not fair.
That just ain't fair. It ain't right.
I believe that when Wayne Thomas was playing and winning for the Nova Scotia Voyageurs,
yes,
a guy named Al McNeil was coaching them.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Who just passed away 2 days ago.
Yeah. Coincidence.
Mm-hmm.
Coincidence.
So yeah, hats off to Al McNeil.
There you go. Yeah,
sure, right?
I mean, he was a good coach.
Great coach, great hockey man.
Great hockey man.
For sure.
So on November 16th, 2009, the Montreal Canadiens took on the Nashville Predators at the Summit Center in Nashville and lost the game 2-0.
Say that 3 times, eh?
Summit Center in Nashville.
Yeah, 3 times.
Nashville Predators, Summit Center, Nashville. I don't want to say it another time. I'm going to screw it up. And lost the game 2-0. But the 2005 5th overall pick for the Habs, Carey Price, stood tall in the nets, and he had 53 saves in the loss to tie Wayne Thomas's record.
Carey Price.
There you go. Now, he had a shaky start in the NHL, Carey Price, losing his starting job to one Yaroslav Halak at one point, and was struggling in the nets, but this game showed management why they chose him 5th and considered him the next St. Patrick.
C'est bon.
Because of the 53 saves, even though he lost 2-0. During the first period, Nashville blasted 24 shots at Price in one period, and at the end of the game, blasted a total of 55 shots at Price. Sadly, Habs only managed 20 shots at the Preds that night.
What was the final score?
It was 2-0 for Nashville, and Habs and what Carey Price say 53. You know, I remember that game.
Really?
I remember that game when he got shelled and he played so well, and everybody's going, "Wow, look at this guy! Holy crap!" I mean, you know, the Habs didn't have a good team that year at all, and I mean, to even lose 2-0, it should have been 12-0, except for Carey Price. You know, I don't even like him.
I know, c'est magnifique.
I know, I don't even like him, but I got to give him credit. At that one point, he could stop the puck, but I wish they would have traded him instead of Halak.
Carey Price, I mean, words can't express how great he was for the Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah. Keep going.
And that leads me to speak to the fact of who will be the next Carey Price for the Montreal Canadiens.
Well, I mean, you know, Fowler is the guy that they're looking for that role, but Dobish is no bum. Now, Sammy's good, but I don't think he's Carey Price. I don't think he's Carey Price, and I don't think he's Patrick Roy.
I don't think he's Carey
and I don't
Price.
think he's maybe even Red Light Rascal. Well, he's better than him.
I think he's better than Red Light.
But you know what the bottom line is that we, you know, just having talk like this, you know, Connor Hughes too, right? He's sitting down in Laval. What can you say? We've got a few guys that we're thinking, you know, can carry the load between the both of them anyway, tandem. I mean, whether they're going to be Carey Price or better, who knows? Time will tell. You know, that's let the results be their judge. But at the end of the day, I think that we have a couple guys in the system right now who could come up with those kind of numbers.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, as we work towards the rebuild and we know we need an elite goaltender, and Jacob Dobis, I mean, in his only 2 appearances in the NHL, has been stunning.
He's been looking like an elite goaltender.
Absolutely, absolutely, and. You know, it's funny, the game on Saturday night against Colorado, Dobis played a great game as well. And he tracks the puck so well. He looks so good technically in the net. You know, pads on the ice. I mean,
well, there's some guys on Facebook that saying he reminded them of Ken Dryden.
He looks really, really good. What I thought though was most interesting was on one particular. I mean, first of all, he took 2 really solid hits.
Yeah,
knocked him off his feet, and you never saw the guy like lose his cool. Like he never complained. He never lost it. He never pulled like a Patrick, you know, St. Patrick, and you know went screaming after the guy who knocked him over. So I like his tenure or his demeanor for sure. And then as well, on one particular play, he decided to play the puck up to Gallagher at the blue line. And so here he is. He's tracking that puck really well. He's concentrating on the puck movement, but he also sees the whole ice surface. And he sees Gallagher open at the old blue line, and he tries to set Gallagher up for a breakaway. And sadly, you know, it was called offside. But Gallagher was, playfully looking back at Dobis, and they were smiling at each other because they knew they were like, this was an attempt. And for a guy who's only played the second game in the NHL, making moves like that.
Can you teach that?
Says a lot. Yeah, you can teach it, but you've got to be aware about it. You know,
is it more of a feeling? The goaltender, he just has the confidence, and he gets eventually he gets that feeling he can do these things.
First, you have the confidence, but then you've also, you know, it's stick play, right? So as a goaltender, it's handling the puck constantly with your stick and being confident that you can play the puck with your stick.
And that was one good thing Price was at. He was good with playing the puck.
It's very important. And then the other thing, of course, is being able to observe a situation and then take advantage of it, you know? and that's exactly what he did.
A late change or something like that.
And so for him to do that in his second game in the NHL, I thought said a lot about Dobas.
Well, that's what I see with him is like he's got nerves of steel because you think somebody, his first game in the NHL, he's gonna, be a little bit shaky. This guy throws a shutout at the other team, and then the next game he comes in and he looks like he's been playing with the Habs in the NHL for 20 years.
Not only does he play relaxed, but he actually has energy. And he doesn't look at all tired during the entire game. And that's something that I think Monty has seen a lot of games already this year. And Monty sometimes does look a little tired at times. And so, especially, and so I think that it'll be interesting to see now what MSL does. I mean, I thought immediately, like, okay, Dobas is the second string goalie. He'll be played against Chicago. But he wasn't. So we put Dobas up against Colorado, a very good team. So is MSL telling us that he thinks that Dobas is a better goaltender than Monty?
Well, I mean, he put him in against a tougher team. I mean, you think he'd give him the easy game against Chicago?
That's what we were thinking.
That's what we were thinking. And then back after the Colorado game, everybody online was saying he deserves to play at home against the Knuckleheads, right? And then he played Monty, but I wasn't surprised. I said he was going to play Monty because this is the MO. He did it with 3 goalies. We always second guessed him. We said, "Oh no, he's not going to. He's going to give him the game again." And then he played the 3 goalie rotation every time. And now they're yelling about him playing the next game. And I'm going, well, yeah, maybe Dobas will get the game on Friday, and then Samuel get the game on Saturday, but there's no guarantee.
There are no guarantees, but what the psyche of MSL is, it's hard to predict for sure.
Well, if you want my opinion, I would like to see him play Montembeault on Friday and give Dobas the home game on Saturday in front of the crowd because he's played well, right? That's what he
definitely deserves it. But is MSL saying, I want to continue to play Monty at home because I want to keep Monty's confidence up?
That's the question.
And not deflate him and make him start second-guessing his play.
That's a really good question.
So,
yeah, what's Monty thinking? Or MSL thinking?
It's Psychology 101.
He is playing the psychological game with fans for sure.
That being said, we're winning hockey games. And you can't argue with that. You know what?
You can't.
And I'm happier beating Vancouver and Colorado and losing to Chicago. I'm good with that.
Well,
than losing to Colorado or Vancouver and beating Chicago.
Yeah, well, I'd like to beat Chicago too because we should have won that game, but it's not in our division and they're not top tier teams because beating the top teams is like winning 4 points for Montreal because most teams will go in there and they'll skate and they'll lose the game against these better teams. We win them, so we get 2 points. The other guys get -2 points. So that's good for us. It's like winning in our division,
right? It's
Tampa
like
and Florida.
A 4-point swing for sure.
Exactly. So Chicago, yeah, I'd rather win that game. We should have won.
Yeah, I mean, again, we discussed recently that games that we can win, we need to win.
Exactly. Right now, especially.
But we are in the winning habit.
Hab's fabulous.
We are in the winning habit.
It is fabulous. It is fabulous. So, how about some video comments?
Absolutely.
I love our video viewers and I love the comments.
Podcast
Thank you very much, everybody. Sure. Thank you so much for commenting. And this one you saw on the Drew Geeks channel, but I did share it. We really like the comments because I like to get other fans involved. We like to know what you think, and we like to get your opinion on things.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing this show not only for us, but of course for you.
Yeah.
And we want you to enjoy the experience.
Yeah, and questions are part of it. So our good guy, Vince Houdon, said, Habs are in a playoff spot after the win over Vancouver. Habs woke up in the third, and it was magic. Hudson was a hockey magician, and Susie electrified the crowd in OT. Go, Habs, go. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's what you put on there. Absolutely.
You know, Hudson, I mean, his play is spectacular, without a doubt. it's something that we've come to expect. You know,
It blows my mind every time I watch him play.
And he plays just like he's been in the NHL for years. I can't imagine how well he's going to be playing 3 or 4 years from now.
That's what I keep saying.
When we make the run for the Stanley Cup.
If he's this good now, what's he going to be like in 2 and 3 years? It's mind blowing. This guy could set maybe new records of all time for defensemen. I don't know.
Well, to me, it's just having that kind of defenseman who can control the puck, who is so comfortable with that puck, controls it, can move it out of the D zone, and man up on the PP.
Yeah, it's just amazing. And he got that assist in the one game and ended up getting $250,000 bonus because he's got 3 levels of bonus for points, and he hit the first one earlier than everybody thought, and he got his $250,000. And
good
he's
agent.
Got 2 more to go. Yeah,
he's got a good agent as well.
Oh, yeah, and he's got a good stick. I mean, like this kid just blows my mind. Just enjoy it, everybody. Watch the games and watch Laine Hudson. He's just a pleasure to watch. He's always creative. He's creating plays. He's making plays. He's in on everything. He's somewhere around. I think he was the guy who even drew that penalty at the end of the last game. I think it was him, wasn't it? I got to check that one out. Claude Lemay, 3912. Absolutely fantastic. Go Habs, go. A lot of people are using the word absolutely now.
Absolutely.
Especially us.
We use it all the time.
Especially us. We use it all the time. Thank you very much, Claude Lemay, 3912 for that comment. Thank you. And we got Bish Boy Steve 44. The boys are back. I love that comment. Back. Even put the A's and C's and K's.
Boys are back in town?
The boys are back in town. The boys are back.
Guess
Steve.
who just got back
and
today?
Bish Boy Steve, you're right. The boys are back. And I think we're gonna make a wild card. I really believe we're gonna make a wild card spot. We're doing this without Laine and Savard.
First of all, for me, it's what's most important is developing good habits. And the good habit that we have now is that every game we know we can win. So now it's all about going out and doing that. Playing great hockey. Yeah, playing great hockey, doing things well. There are things we definitely need to improve. There's always things that you can improve on. But at this point in time, we're playing great hockey, something that we relish that we didn't have last year is an amazing power play.
Yeah.
And, hats off.
Guess who's coming back on Friday?
I have no idea.
Laine.
But in saying that,
come back on Friday.
But in saying that, the power play is still running strong.
I know, and
so
without him,
it speaks volumes to MSL as to what he's done with this power play and everybody executing on it.
Yeah, well, you know what? At the beginning of the year, they got rid of Burrows, and we said, who are they going to get in? There's rumors about everybody, and one guy that I know, it's only one guy, said the best guy to run the power play is MSL, and he will run the power play. That guy is sitting right here. And he started out terrible, MSL. It wasn't very good, but now
it wasn't very good when he got it.
It wasn't very good when he got it, but now we're seeing the
dividends.
The dividends of him sowing those seeds and on the power play.
Sowing the seeds of love.
And Laine, I mean, without him we're doing it, but so that gives credit to MSL for being able to drop the right guys in the power play at the right time. But wait till Laine comes back.
But not only that, I mean, it's execution of a formula basically, and so they're tracking really well. They're circulating really well. People are looking for people. They're confident when they have the puck. In fact, other teams who are definitely watching game film are going, we got to be a little more careful about this Montreal power play. We got to they're getting a little more space.
Absolutely.
And a guy like Laine Hudson too, the way he can command control of that puck creates space.
Yeah, they go after him.
But he's got the puck. People are trying to take it away from him. He might draw then two opponents on him. Now it becomes like a situation of almost like a 4-on-2 when he passes the puck off.
Yeah, it's crazy. He's bobbing and weaving. He's like a prize fighter, bobbing and weaving. Then before you know it, the puck's over there and in the net.
He's very good with keeping his body between the opponent and the puck.
He is. He's very good. And you know what?
And so when
can't even learn that crap. He just knows it.
When he passed it off to Susie last night or on Monday night, and Susie wound up and put that puck in the net. Pretty nice.
Pretty nice to watch.
Pretty nice.
Okay. Thank you, Bish Boy Steve 44. The boys are back at Ronald Savard 1663. Have a happy New Year. Safe and your family too.
Did he say happy or happy?
Happy.
Happy.
But we say happy.
Happy.
By the way, this is the first time I take a podcast. He watched a podcast and loved the content. I am a Montreal fan living in Toronto. I'm so happy for the team. There are not too many francophones on the team like there used to be, and that's true.
Who's this?
This is Ronald Savard,
and Ronald, such a sweet comment. I mean, when you spoke about like taking a podcast, right? I mean, right away I have to think of my uncles back in the day, who always made the attempt to learn English and would always try to do their best to communicate with their nephew from Ontario. So thanks for your comment. We truly appreciate your gesture.
Yeah, and I don't know how old Ronald Savage is. Ronald Savard, what did I say his name?
Savard.
Yeah, Ronald Savard is.
Got a good name.
But we I wonder if he's related. But we remember the days that you're talking about when there were a lot of francophones on the team back in the 60s, those great teams of the late 50s and 60s. We saw those games, and for all the thing about the French and everything that went on in the NHL for years. If you saw the movie The Rocket, you'll understand it's not just about hockey. It's about racism and that in the 50s in the NHL, and that we had a lot of French players because we got first pick of them. And a lot of people always cried about that because they had the best players. So, they took care of that with the draft and everything, and we just don't get them anymore. And you're right. We don't have a lot of Francophone players on the team anymore.
But we just acquired one recently.
Carrier.
And he's another standout.
That guy right there. I was so glad when Barron left. I wasn't sure about Carrier. I didn't know who he was, but at least he was a journeyman. He had been in the NHL for a while. He knew what he was doing, and I've been calling for that. We got to get rid of some of these guys and get bona fide NHL players. And what a delight this has been to have him on the team. He's been a rock back there. He gets shots on net. He fit in like a glove from game one.
Well, he is a solid defenseman.
He really is.
So that's his first criteria, is the fact that he plays defense.
There you go.
And that really has helped a guy named Gooley.
I'm going to talk about Gooley later. But yeah, okay. Carrier's been great with Gooley.
So what he's done is Gooley was playing the right-hand side. Carrier is shoots right. So he took that side over. It's strengthened Gooley's play as a defenseman. And Gooley plays with a lot of force, and he likes to hit. He's very physical, and Carrier is back there supporting him, and they're a great tandem.
They really are.
So again,
wreaking havoc.
You got to take your hats off to Ken Hughes.
There you go. He made that move, and the Predators are looking at Barron. There was some problem with him. I don't know what the hell they were doing. He was what the hell did they say he didn't? I don't know. I
have, you know what?
There's a little bit of controversy.
No disrespect to Barron.
No.
But because I haven't even followed up with how he's doing, because There's too much to follow with the Habs.
No, I haven't followed because who cares?
There's just too much to follow with the Habs. We're doing so well.
The Habs, I don't care.
We're doing so well.
Yeah, I don't follow up anybody. Once they leave the Habs, they're out. They're out. That's it. They're not back. They're out. And I give them this on the way out. All the best of luck in your future endeavors. Never to be heard from again unless they come back. At Outremont Peter 64. It's a sweater, not a jersey. Le Chandail de Hockey. The hockey sweater. Roche Carrier.
Roche Carrier.
Who's that guy?
He wrote the sweater.
He broke the sweater?
He wrote the book.
He wrote the book,
The Sweater. Which is
the,
about the young...
the guy playing on our team now, Carrier?
Roche Carrier. Rock the sweater, right? Rock the sweater. Rock the sweater.
Don Cherry says also jersey is an American term. Sweater is Canadian. And he has a point, because we always called it a hockey sweater when we were kids.
Absolutely.
I never called it a jersey. That's football stuff.
But let me tell you that nowadays, in the modern NHL that has 32 teams with, I think, 26 of them are in the United States of America?
Yeah.
If you go to an NHL website, you'll see the word jersey.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's been taken over. But in the old days, the players actually wore sweaters, and they weren't jersey. They weren't a jersey-like material. You know that new material in that's really light in that.
Absolutely,
they friggin' wore sweaters because they played outside a lot.
My first sweater
was
a woolen sweater,
right? Exactly.
With a turtleneck.
Exactly.
That had a white and blue stripe in the turtleneck.
Yeah.
And on the back of it, I had a number 5, and I had the Canadiens logo on the front.
Yeah, and that's what they were made of. When they first started, they were sweaters, and they wore toques.
And there's still my favorite sweater is, and of course, when even by the time Dryden was playing and we bought sweaters at Doug Laurie's Emporium at Maple Leaf Gardens.
Yeah.
They were maybe more like this type of material, more of a jersey. We'll call it like the material itself, but I still would call it my hockey sweater.
Yeah, sweater. That's what we call it.
But there was a bit of a joke that day, too, with Drew Deeks when you guys were talking about your New Jersey.
Yeah, and I said, no, Canadians, not New Jersey.
Exactly. So it was a bit of a joke as well, mon ami.
This is my New Jersey. No,
we're not Habs. New Jersey. It's Montreal.
Yeah, we're Habs.
Or it's Canadians.
So let's get to the games this week because it was a lot of fun. And thank you for all those comments. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup.
Outremont Peter.
Like the show. Leave comments.
Subscribe.
And share the show.
It doesn't cost you anything.
Share the show with all your Habs friends.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Sign up. Let's go. And it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. Hit the notification so you know when we post the show.
And speaking of sweaters.
That's a sweater?
No.
It's a small sweater.
But this is something that I collected back in the 80s. I bought this at the Forum.
Oh, no way.
In Montreal.
Wow.
It's still there. It's like it didn't break. And it's my keychain. So, yeah.
There you go.
C'est magnifique.
Okay, so we play Chicago away. We were in Chicago. We lost 4-2. That was game 10 of the Lucky 11. And to me, I don't know. That whole game stunk to me, right? Sammy Struble and Pez in the lineup. I mean,
you know what?
What are they all doing in the lineup?
So Pez had to go in the lineup because Laine was hurt.
Yeah,
okay? Yeah. They scratched them 30 minutes before the game.
What's Chicago? Like a 2-hour plane flight? I mean, couldn't we brought somebody in?
Well, first of all, here's what we should have done. Here's what would have happened. Okay?
I don't know. I didn't like
Laine, your second line center, your second line winger, as well as your PP player, can't play tonight. Okay. We'll bring who's sitting in the box upstairs. Who's watching the game?
Zamboni driver.
Michael Pizzetti. Okay, dress Pizzetti and
get Struble on there too.
I think we're gonna put Armia on the second line, and Pizzetta's going to fill in for Armia. Well, that didn't happen.
Pizzetta went to the second.
Pizzetta went right to the second line.
Yeah, and I don't get that.
Oh, I do.
Okay,
only after
let me know.
only after thinking about it, because MSL is going, I got a third line and a fourth line who accounted for 4 out of the 5 goals we scored in the last game. Do I want to mix with that chemistry right now? No. My third and fourth line are winning games for me. I can't. I'm gonna put Pez on that second line, and then as the game evolves, I'm going to start putting different people in play from the first line onto the second line and see what happens. See what chemistry is going on with Doc and Newhook.
Like an experimental game.
So when that second line plays, we'll throw out Susie with them. Okay? On their next shift, it'll be CC. On their next shift, it'll be Slav. On the next shift, it might be Armia. And I'm sorry, Pez, you only got about 5 minutes of ice time.
Yeah, well, sad.
It's sad because Pez is sitting there every night upstairs, waiting for his opportunity to get on the ice with his teammates.
Not complaining.
And he's up, exactly. He's not complaining. He's not bad-mouthing anybody. He's not bringing the team down. He's at every practice. He's at every optional practice. He's giving it his all.
Yep.
So, hats off to Pez.
Yeah, too bad.
And hats off to Pez and brilliant MSL.
Yeah, well, I mean, it was sad to see them come in because they haven't played since Biden was lucid. I'm just going, what are they putting these guys in for? But it was a joke. Cabs were listless. They were unmotivated. I didn't see a lot from them that night. Playing Chicago was a terrible team. But congratulations to Cole Caulfield on his 20th that night.
Yeah, I mean, CC tied it up in the first period.
Mm-hmm.
Hats off to him for that. We scored a power play goal. Heineman got a power play goal, which is great. So the power play was contributing. There was one guy who stood out for me in that whole game from Chicago. And his name wasn't Connor.
It was the goalie?
It was Neil Foligno.
Who was that? Oh, Nick Foligno.
Nick Foligno,
yeah.
You know, a seasoned veteran who got 2 goals, led his team to that win. As we go into rebuild, as we get closer to 5 years down the line, it'd be nice to have a guy of that caliber at that point in time on l'équipe de Canadien.
Well, you never know. We just might.
We just might.
Right?
We just might. But, you know, and it might be somebody who's already on the team.
There you go.
Maybe it'll be a guy like a Jake Evans.
Jake Evans, right? He's a, you know, that's going to be a tough one. We talked about that last week. Man, oh man, you hate to get rid of a guy like that because they're hard to find.
Well,
they're Thomas Plekanec type of guy.
Think about what Jake Evans does for the team. He does
everything.
He first of all, he can play 5-on-5. Second of all, if you had to take a face-off, who would you select to take your face-off? If you can select anybody.
Jake Evans.
Jake Evans. If you're going to go have a PK, who would you put out there first?
Jake Evans.
Well, why would you get rid of a guy named Jake Evans?
Well, you wouldn't.
Exactly.
And I think they'll sign him. I think they'll extend him. I think he's just one of those players that come around once in a while, and we're going to be lucky enough, like you said last week, to have Owen Beck coming up, who's that same type of player, and replacing Dvorak.
Absolutely.
There you go. That's all there is to it. Don't even argue about it. Let's move on to the next game. Colorado away. Game 11 of the Lucky 11 in a back-to-back situation. Now, I don't know how many people out there in the crowd thought that they were going to beat Colorado. Give Colorado a Hollerado. But guess what? It was a chess match with the Avs. And they got the upper hand in the first period. And
I thought we were playing hockey.
Well, we were.
Oh, okay.
But it was a chess match. These parts were moving around. And they got the upper hand in the first, and they looked like the game could get away from the Habs, to be honest with you. Blackwood was playing great in net, but we had a goaltender that was up to Blackwood.
Dobis.
And it wasn't Whitewood. It was Dobish. Habs hung tough for the first, then took it to the Avs in the second and third. And great defensive play by Hudson to send Susie and CC on a 2-on-1. And we know how deadly they are on a 2-on-1. We saw them knock off the Leafs doing the same thing in the playoffs. And they didn't miss.
Yeah, it was fabulous goal.
Habs held strong in a late game power play for the Avs and had their own power play in overtime. I'm convinced that Laine would have ended the game. Do I have the right game?
No.
Is that the Colorado game? Or
The Colorado game went into a shootout.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That did. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm convinced Laine would have ended the game during the power play. That's what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he held the straight in the power play. And they had their own power play in overtime. And I'm convinced that if Laine was on the ice, Laine, we would have ended the game then. We would have ended the game then. I'm convinced of it.
C'est possible.
So we get into a shootout. And he shoots. He scores.
Habs?
Kirby, Doc, making it look easy.
Well, CC scored the first one, and Doc got a beautiful goal.
Was he even moving?
You know what? Doc now looks like
easy.
Doc looks so comfortable.
He really does.
And he got the monkey off his back.
Oh, that shootout goal! It looked like, I didn't even see him move. He just all of a sudden it was in the net. But this guy is so calm. He just walked in, and here you go.
I mean, Kirby Doc got the monkey off his back. Now, a lot of, and you've been saying, we got, this Friday, we got a guy named Laine coming back to play on the second line and, of course, on the power play. But, I mean, we proved, MSL proved that second line now, without like Doc and Newhook, they're on fire.
They are on fire.
They are starting to click. And Kirby Doc is playing so well right now and is so confident. It's amazing.
And you know what I like? He's playing up to his size. He's a big guy. He can really make a difference. And now he's using it.
And he's playing up to his expectation.
Yes.
So something that we didn't have at the beginning of the season was Kirby Doc playing like we expected him to. And now he is. So that's great.
Yeah, it's awesome. So we beat Colorado, and CC got the assist from Hudson on the one goal, and that earned Hudson his $250,000 bonus.
That's the Vancouver game.
In the Colorado game. That's where he got the assist on the CC goal.
Oh, Hudson got the assist.
Yeah, and that was his $250,000 assist. Thank you very much. Now, we played the Knuckleheads next. And that was at home. We won 5-4 in overtime.
Fabulous game.
And what can I say except what a game? The Knuckleheads took a 3-1 lead, and Habs fought their way back, playing exceptional. This team won't go away. They don't go away, Montreal. And they outplayed them in the second and third periods and actually took the lead. But a bonehead penalty by CC allowed the Knucks to tie it up on a late power play goal in the third. The game went into OT, and Mon Capitaine,
Susie,
he got a laser. He fired a laser at the Nuck goaltender, and nobody's going to stop that one, including goaltender Lankinen, who was playing in net for the Knuckleheads. Everyone chipped in for this one, with Hudson, Susie, Caulfield, Doc, and Gooley getting the markers. Susie and Hudson also added a pair of assists each. Great game to win and dropped Habs into a wildcard spot. Although today they are 1 point out, but right in the hunt. So we're there. We've arrived. We're back. The boys are back.
And 2 power play goals in that game.
Just a fantastic game to watch. It was a fun game to watch.
Yeah, I totally enjoyed it. It was like one of those games where you were cheering, or going, come on, you're going, whoa, I can't believe you missed that, and then the shots were going in. I mean, again, Doc contributing. Hudson, everybody, Gooley, CC, Susie. I mean, those are all the names you want to hear.
So right now, we've been talking about stats through the whole show, but right now we're 19, 18, and 3 after 40 games, minus 14 still. But that's a 9-point drop from where we were.
That's a huge drop.
We stayed there,
and shots on goal are pretty even right now. as over the last 7 or 8 games, I think at least, we're pretty well even with shots on goal. So that's another change that wasn't taking place last year, and definitely not at the beginning of this season.
Yeah, and that Vancouver game, the knucklehead game there, I was just saying to John before that last year, if we got in that situation where we had a 4-3 lead and then CC takes a stupid penalty and they scored, that would have probably been it. We would have lost that game in overtime. These are the kind of games we dropped last year, but not this year. We're winning these. We're winning these 1.1 goal games, and we're not getting. We used to see Montreal get down and out. They'd get a couple goals scored, and that would be kind of like the game's over. They, just
and if anything,
fragile.
And if anything, if we eked it out, we might get a tie.
That's at a point.
So now those tie games are being converted into 2-point games.
Yeah, and you're not seeing the fragile team we saw last year, where if you got down a couple goals, everybody hung their head and there was no energy, and we're done, not again, that type of attitude. Now we're seeing, okay, let's go get them back.
So that could easily be a combination of 20 games over the course of the season. And
yes.
If we convert those 20 games to 2-point games, that's 20 points.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And that will take you into a playoff situation.
That's right. And we're headed for that right now. So, like I say, we were in the 8th wildcard spot, but I think Ottawa won or something, and they're there. But we are behind Pittsburgh, and we have 2 games in hand on them, and we have a game in hand, I believe, on Columbus. So even though we're not in the wild card spot, we have games in hand that would put us in the wild card spot. So obviously, we got to keep winning.
I think the key is that the team keeps doing what they're doing well. Like they just focus on games. They're having fun. You see the joy in their faces. That's the key now. Don't even worry about where you are in the standings right now. Just go out and keep winning games, and that will all solve itself.
It'll come. Yep. Watch your pennies, and the dollars will take care of themselves. So we have 3 games coming up: Washington, Dallas, and Utah.
And Washington is on Friday night in Washington.
Washington is in Washington on Friday night. Dallas is in Montreal on Saturday. In Utah, we play on Tuesday, I believe.
And Washington and Dallas both have better records than we do.
They do, but you know what? I think we can beat Washington.
And we're pretty well. And who do we play on the Tuesday?
Utah.
And we're pretty well on par with.
Oh yeah, we can beat Utah.
Yeah.
Even though it's not at home.
Even though they're a rookie team.
Yeah, we're traveling to Utah. We're playing Dallas at home. Then we're traveling to Utah, and then we're going from Utah to Dallas to play them in Dallas. Then we come home to play
Toronto,
the dreaded Maple Leafs.
They're not that dreaded.
So I think we can win that Washington game, John. I really do, and I don't have any problem with Dallas either, to tell you the truth. I don't have any problem with Utah. I think that we can.
You think we can win all 3 games?
I think we can. I really do.
And that's exactly the approach that this hockey team should have.
So
every game that you play, you should win. If you don't bring that approach, you shouldn't be playing in the National Hockey League.
Yeah, well, I would say if they thought they were going to lose, but I
know you would.
But I don't think they are. I just think that right now. Now, here's the question: what's the goaltending arrangement going to be here?
Well, that is a very difficult question.
I think I would play Monty against Washington and come back with Dobish.
Here's what I'm going to tell you right now. If you were to ask MSL what the goaltending arrangement is, like right now at what, I don't know, 12:53, your sweater number?
He'd say Monty?
No, he wouldn't.
Well, he wouldn't tell you.
No. He doesn't. He hasn't made a decision.
Oh, okay. He wouldn't know.
Exactly. He wouldn't know because he has yet to make that decision.
Do you believe that?
I totally believe that. That's why I'm saying it.
Well, I think here's one thing I never looked at. So I'm just saying this because I know Monty's MO. This is the way he works. You're not Monty, MSL. I know the way his mind works. I've seen it for 3 years now. So I think this is how he's going to do it. But what I never did and this is something probably MSL is going to do, or has done already, make his decision, is look at Monty's record against Washington.
That's possible. That could come into play. But I also think MSL will look at how his goalies are performing in practice.
Oh, true.
And there's a big practice today. And I hope that Laine is on that ice. And I believe as well, he's going to look at the way those other two teams are performing leading up to the game. And that's how he's going to make his decision.
See, now me personally, I'd like to see him do it this way. And I don't agree with some of the stuff he does. But I'd love to see Dobish get the home game against Dallas in front of the Montreal crowd on Saturday. I would love to see that, only because the guys played great. And if he can come and get a game against Dallas on home ice, the crowd's going to go wild.
Here's the one thing I will say to you, okay? And that is, at one point, Dobish will play for the home crowd on a Saturday night. I don't know when. In fact,
when he takes over first spot,
maybe it's when they play some team that dresses in blue and white.
You think they're going to put him in against Toronto?
You know what? I thought
that'd be awesome.
Dobish right now has played 2 NHL games.
That's it.
And he has let in 1 goal.
That's it.
So you're telling me that to me, Dobish could start any game.
Well, that's true. You're absolutely right.
But obviously, MSL has a strategy, or the team in general has a strategy. And I like playing goalies when they're hot. I spoke about the fact that Dobish is still developing, and that he needs games to continue that development pattern. A guy named Caden Primo went down to Laval, and he won a game on Saturday night for the Laval Rockets. So
that's where he belongs.
Kudos to Caden Primo.
That's where he belongs. That's perfect.
But he's still developing as well. Whether Caden Primo will ever be a goaltender in the NHL, that remains to be seen. That's up to Caden Primo.
That's it.
To tell you the truth.
But
I mean, I'm starting to realize what a strategist MSL is. You know, we beat Vancouver the other night.
Yeah.
And I think the first goal of the game was scored by CC in the first 2 minutes.
Yes.
And everybody thought, wow, is Montreal going to be tired coming home, or just finishing off this road trip? Are they going to be tired on this Monday night game? They've been playing all these back-to-back games and everything else. But you know what? They had jump in their step.
They got young legs.
They have young legs, but as well, travel will tire you out.
And we saw that with Tampa. Tampa, when they played Tampa and they beat them, Tampa was getting gassed. Those old guys, they've been around a while now.
Travel will tire you out. But MSL decided to have the team stay in Denver after that win and come back the next day, so that they could get a good sleep, rather coming in at 3 or 4 in the morning at the airport in Montreal and trying to get home and eating shitty airport food on the way home.
Yeah.
So good for MSL to be working and thinking about his team's recovery. And again, that's something that's very important to an NHL team is their health. And we spoke to that 2 or 3 years ago, before MSL was coming in, actually, or right around the time he started, with how many game injuries we were acquiring, and how we were probably the second highest game injury, I think, record at that time the team had in the NHL.
And that sure has changed this year, because we had the most man hours lost, and now we're probably at the bottom of the list. We haven't had too many injuries at all, really, when you think about it.
So that's fabulous.
That's fabulous, and it's fabulous. And at the end of the day, we got rid of all the medical staff there a couple of years ago. Finally, the training staff and everybody, and now Hey, they look like they're in better shape.
Hickory
dickory dock.
And it has everything to do with changing habits.
Yeah, and you know what? You out there, what do you think? Who's playing on Friday? Give us your comments. Let's see what you think. I'm calling Monty. John's saying.
I'm not saying. You know what? I'm not even going to say who's going to be the goaltender.
And I'm saying Monty and MSL don't know.
I know. Dobus will play at least one game.
There you go. We can guarantee that. Okay, le troisième étoile de la semaine dernière.
Well, I'm just so impressed with what's going on with this team right now. I mean, and all these little moves, like Laine, coming back, Carrier being acquired, Dobus. I mean, somebody at one point, I believe somebody at one point said, you know what, Dobus is an NHL goalie, and that's why we're bringing him up. And okay. I think what could happen over the course of the next 40 games is that Dobus might become the number one goalie. I'd love to see if I was the goalie coach, I'd love to see Dobus playing 50% of the next 40 games. I'd love to see the spread go 20-20.
That is the scuttlebutt.
And so he's going to be we shall see. But I have to give the first star to MSL and Ken Hughes for what they're doing with this team.
Le deuxième étoile.
Les premiers étoiles. Le deuxième étoile has to go to CC. He had a goal in each of the last 3 games. He continues to like he's there for this team every game. He continues to improve his two-way play as well. And we can count on him for a goal no matter what. Stellar.
He's unbelievable. He's got 22 goals now.
We almost take him for granted. I don't think he's going to play in this what's this
tournament? No,
the Gary Bettman.
Thank God
tournament.
Thank God we're getting all these back-to-back games because of that stupid tournament. You know that.
You know what? I'm happy actually that he's going to be rested.
He is going to be.
He's going to get a little bit of a holiday.
Yeah, he is.
So good on him.
And the third star, the troisième étoile.
And the troisième étoile is got to go to. It's between Doc and Gooley. Both guys are really starting to show up. What we expected these hockey players to be maybe 2 years ago, they're actually finally evolving into. And that's something that when you think back, I guess 50 years ago,
yeah,
a guy named Guy Lafleur,
yeah,
it took him really 2-3 years to really become Guy Lafleur.
Yeah, he wasn't that great at the beginning.
And that's what we're seeing. I mean, a special, and the other thing I've got to say, I got to go back and say about CC for 1 second. He's starting also to remind me of a guy from 60s, almost 70 years ago. No, 60 years ago. And that would be the Roadrunner.
The Roadrunner.
He's looking like the Roadrunner.
Yvan Cournoyer.
Yeah, because I mean, Yvan Cournoyer came up. He scored lots of power play goals, and he could beat anybody to the puck.
Yep, he was good.
And CC's like that. CC's got great skates.
Well, I couldn't pick one player this week for the first or second star. Who do we take? Hudson, Caulfield, Suzuki, Evans, Dobish, Doc. I mean, who do you take? Everybody's been contributing to the wins. Everybody's had a piece of it, and it's hard to single anyone out for the first star when the team is all in, playing like first stars and second stars. So I'm just saying that whole team really, they played together. We've seen the culture now that they've been building. We've seen MSL plans come to fruition, and that's why we're seeing wins. We're in a wild card position now, which I wanted from the beginning of the season if we could play 500 hockey. And, I said at the beginning of the season that we expect, and Hughes even said it, we expect progress. And for a while there, we were regressing. And now it's coming to fruition since Laine got to the team with Carrier coming. And now we're where we want to be. So I'm happy about it all. Third star, I want to say Gooley. This guy's turning into a beast and a force to be reckoned with on the blue line. He put the puck in the net as well. I'm getting more impressed with him every game, and he's just starting his NHL career. We have a lot to look forward to with this guy. And, like he's just that good out there. They're better off with him. And I like this guy from the beginning, from when he first stepped on the ice. I said, this guy's going to be something. And now, what is he, 1 year in?
I think he's about 1 year in.
Yeah.
He's what, 23?
Yeah. I mean, for defensemen, they take a little bit longer sometimes, unless you're Laine Hudson. But this guy's turning into a solid. And then, like you said, they put Carrier with him. I mean, I love watching him. When he's got the puck, I have the utmost confidence. And then when somebody's coming down with the puck, I have the utmost confidence. And then we got a guy like Jack Guy who's playing very disciplined, good hockey.
Everybody's playing great hockey.
They really are. And that's why the first and second star, who do I pick out? I'm going to leave somebody out. So rather than leave anybody out, I'm just going to take everybody. Thank you very much, Montreal Canadiens. As a Habs fan, I'm so happy to see this happening. And I'm excited. And that's all I have to say for today. I'm done.
That's it?
That's
Say
it.
fini? Say two?
That's it.
Oh,
what else? I got a smile on my face. I'm leaving with a smile on my face the show today and waiting for the weekend because I know we're going to be happy next week again and again and again.
I mean, I can't wait to watch the next game because
the
team is playing so well.
And, I'm getting tired of winning.
No, I'm not. I'm not at all.
Oh,
what I'm loving is the fact that we can come from behind and win.
That's the best.
I mean, so many. I don't know what you call. What do you call a fan that is like only is with the team when they're winning?
Me.
No, there's another. There's a name for this. There's a name for those types of fans.
No,
like a fair
weather
fan, like a fair weather fan, right? And they've all been, for the last couple of years, I've had it. I'm out. I can't watch any more of this. It's like, well, guess what, man? The guys were doing that on Monday night. Well, man, you missed an amazing game.
Maybe that's what that guy meant. The boys are back. The fans are back.
You missed an amazing game because Monday night they were like losing, and it's like, yeah, they're coming back. They're not put out by going down by a couple of goals. They're collectively getting together and saying, what do we need to do? Let's do it.
Listen, if you're sitting in the Bell Center and you're watching the Montreal Canadiens play, and it's 3-1 in the third period for the other team, do not leave the arena.
Not only that, nobody now is saying, nah, I'll take a pass on those tickets. Thanks, though. Thanks for inviting me. I'll take a pass. That ain't happening anymore.
And if you get there, don't leave the arena because
that ain't happening.
Believe me, these guys are persistent. They do not give up. They won't go away. They're like your aunt. That's what they're like.
The only time you leave that arena is if tear gas explodes. That's about the only time.
That's all. The Richard riots. Remember them? But anyway, we got to get out of here.
Absolutely. C'est très froid aujourd'hui au Niagara.
Yeah, it's cold out there today. It's 20 degrees. Freeze the ball. The puck's off a brass monkey. But you know what? At the end of the day, we're going to be here next week at noon on HABSOLUTELY, giving you the latest. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave your comments up.
Watch
down. We don't care. We don't care.
Watch those games. Go Habs, go.
Yeah, watch those games. Don't forget to watch the games. Oh boy, gotta watch those games. I plan my life around Montreal games. Somebody says I'm having a birthday cake on Friday, and I look and I go, Montreal's playing on Friday. I won't be there.
Absolutely.
So make it on another night when Toronto's playing, when the Leafs are playing. Who cares about them? Or when Boston's playing.
except a week.
We're going to be watching the Leafs Montreal, man. I can't wait to
we'll have to talk a lot about Toronto and Montreal next game.
Yeah, show. We'll talk a lot about that because there's a lot of history.
Yeah, we'll go back and do a little bit of history.
There you go. My name is Paul K. Lemire.
Jean-Louis Filion.
Yes, Jean-Louis Filion. And we are here in Niagara Falls, Ontario in the studios of 4680Q, bringing you HABSOLUTELY live. It'll be on YouTube in about maybe a couple hours. We'll get her on YouTube. You can watch the show We thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, hit the notification button. We love you all. Leave those comments. We'll see you next week. Ciao, ciao, au revoir for now.